with Game 2 taking place between the Warriors and the Mavs on Friday night, who do you think is going to come out on top and why?
I'm actually going to pick us to win this game because I do have faith that our lineup is going to sit there and say, you know what? We didn't just get embarrassed. We didn't just play terrible defense, but we played horrible offense. We were not able to put the ball in the cylinder. We weren't playing effectively, and we weren't playing efficiently by any means. We know that Luka's going to take his 15 to 20 shot attempts a game. We know that Jalen Brunson's going to try to, keep up with him at certain points because if Luka's having an off night, Jalen's going to have to compensate, and Spencer, and so on and so forth. But what I'm looking for in game 2 is for Jason Kidd to put his foot down like he did in game 7 for that Phoenix series and say, listen, we got to play team basketball. We got to find a way to continue to get their bigs in foul trouble. Draymond got into foul trouble a little bit towards the end of the second quarter. Looney had some foul trouble later in the second half as well. So if we can continue to get them in that mindset of, all right, well, we need to put in our backups. We need to put in our third string. We need bodies. We can't afford to have Draymond have 5 fouls in 3 quarters. That's going to be where we succeed. Now the counterpoint to that is we have to be effective with the shots that we do get. Granted, we shot 21 free throws in game 1. That's a lot of free throws. We made 14 of them. 66% isn't going to cut it against a team like this. If we do get to the free throw line, we have to capitalize. 3-point shots, to me, have to get marginalized. They have to get cut down significantly by at least 20%. I am all for, if you're open, you got to take it. You got to make it, though. But Luka's contested step backs, those 4 shots, because of the shot clock being basically at 2 seconds, we gotta actually run efficient offensive sets, offensive plays, and I think that Jason Kidd is going to come at the drawing board and say, you know what, we tried it the way we did it last series. This is a different team. We got to be able to come at this differently. Now on the defensive side of the ball, just like Mike had said a couple minutes ago, we have to be able to trap and deny the ball, which is probably the hardest thing to do with Golden State running consistent screens their entire existence and Steph has been in the league. I know that our defenders are going to get tired, but we have to find a way to dig deep and really, really drive the ball off of their hands and make people like Wiggins and make people like Draymond beat us on the offensive side. Because I will live with an Andrew Wiggins open 15-footer as opposed to a Steph 23, 24-foot open three. So we have a lot of adjustments. I know that Golden State does too, but I think that we're going to come at this differently, and I think that this team is going to come out angry that they got embarrassed after that incredible Game 7 performance in Phoenix.
Mike, you can go ahead.
I personally think, thinking about it more as Kevin went on, I think the Warriors as a team right now, we're running at like 75% because we're it's true team wins where it's like nobody has to put the whole game on their back and go, hey, look, I got this, and if we're running at that speed and still winning by 20 plus, I think we're gonna coast, and I think it can still work in our favor because we have guys like Steph, Clay, and Dre that can turn it up. Um, and I think that's where it pretty much stands. I mean, it's gonna be a home court game for us. The Chase Center's starting to sound like Oracle game after game. Um, Little things like them putting out the yellow playoff shirts instead of the black playoff shirts, like it plays a role within the fans. And when the fans are growing, when Steph is rolling, when Dre's rolling, when Clay's rolling, I think we're unbeatable. It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot for Dallas to really go in there and try to poke at us and poke at the bear, but I think that we get the job done.
And Mike, I'm in full agreement with you on this one. Kevin, I mean, I hate to burst your bubble on this one, but I like where Golden State is at right now. I think they could look back at that game 1 performance and think that there's still some improvement left, based off the fact that Steph only dropped 21 points, Clay only had 15. Granted they had great production across the board because Otto Porter scored 10, Andrew Wiggins had 19, Draymond had 10, Kevon Looney had 10. So I mean, they got great production, as a unit. And I think, going into game 2, I think the Mavs are going to make better adjustments. I think first of all, they're not going to shoot 19 threes in the first quarter. I think that'll probably be one of the adjustments
Fucking
that
better
they'll make.
not.
So I think that the Mavs are going to get better shots. It wouldn't surprise me if the Mavs actually try to get out to an early lead as quick as possible. But the one thing that Golden State has feasted on the last couple of years is going into the third quarter. They've just absolutely dominated it in that regard. And I mean, in game one, it played out in that similar fashion. I mean, Golden State dropped 34 points in the third quarter compared to Dallas that dropped 24. So, I'm looking at a scenario where I think Golden State's going to try to put up 120 points. I think Dallas is definitely going to crack 100 points, just because scoring 87 points in game one, they could definitely improve a lot of aspects on the offensive side of the ball. I think the Mavs will try to move the ball a little bit better than they did in game one. So I definitely think that we're going to see a better Mavericks unit in game two. I wouldn't surprise if Luka drops 30, just because he's been an absolute machine this postseason. But there's just too much firepower for Golden State. And, the way that I see this playing out is I do think it will be a more competitive game. I just don't think that the Mavs, the one Achilles heel that I have with the Mavs is that their ball movement on the offensive side of the ball is really weak compared to Golden State. And that's the one aspect that I think Golden State is going to take them to task for. And I think that's going to be the difference maker. So, the way that I see it is I still see, a comfortable win from Golden State. It will be more competitive than it was in game one, but I see Golden State still winning this by 15 points.